Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 4 house building video. Today I am doing the circle shell challenge, which was made by lilsimsie, and as you can see here, I'm already starting out with quite a bang here, going up to a third story. But yeah, this is a shell challenge. So essentially, the shell is this kind of almost circle shape, and I can't change the outside walls here at all. So basically I can do anything to the outside but add or remove any of the walls, and of course I can add a floor plan inside. So essentially here, I'm just, working with this one shape with these curved walls here and trying to make a house from it. And I've actually been wanting to do one of these shell challenges for a while, but most of the time that I see them posted, I'm not making videos at the time. I was at school or away. And so I was like, oh, well, it's not really relevant by the time I get back. But this one actually is relevant at this time. So I was able to actually create this. Well, I guess it's mostly relevant now. As you may or may not know, Kayla makes videos, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks after posting the original shell video, showcasing what some people did. And so apparently the deadline for that was, or for her, I guess, to look at them was the 15th, which was only 2 days or 3 days after. No, it was literally 2 days after she posted the YouTube video of this, which is how I found out about it. And so, I was like, oh, okay. But, no one's downloading this from the gallery anyway, if that's how they find it, because the gallery picture for this is literally just a tree. So it doesn't really matter. It's quite, really what matters is the video I'm making. But I thought it was kind of funny. But anyway, so yeah, this is a water tower, or it's a converted water tower. That's what I made. And yeah, when I saw the shell originally a few days ago, I was like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with it. I watched, the only one I saw was Kayla's original video, where she made kind of this cottage, using cottage living, which I don't have that pack. So, but I wasn't going to do the same sort of thing that she did in her video. And I didn't look on the gallery or anything. I didn't really want to see, any other ones. I kind of wanted to just come up with an idea on my own and just see what I could do with it. So I was thinking about in some way adding some height, some sort of tower, but not necessarily stacking these, because that was allowed actually to copy the room and stack it. But in this case, I settled on a water tower, and it actually worked out really well. And you can see here, I already got the roof on, I already got the supports in. The roof is just a cone. I thought that kind of worked best, at least. I feel like that's most accurate to water towers in general. And the supports actually are from ByDebug. I didn't record it because it took forever, but I found them in the ByDebug menu, or I'm calling it ByDebug because that's what it's called in The Sims 3. But in The Sims 4, it's hidden live edit objects. So yes, it was in that menu, but it's still debug, or it's debug objects. So yeah, I found them, and they're from, City Living. And they actually look great. They were somehow the perfect height for what I had already created, which was 2 medium height levels. And yeah, they fit under there perfectly. I put 6 of them in there, and they look great, actually. I mean, I was kind of trying to make the best looking water tower I could with these dimensions that I have. I didn't want to make this thing crazy tall, so I thought this was a decent enough height off the ground where it kind of looks like a water tower, but it's not too crazy. And yeah, so those worked out really well. And then also water towers have a pipe, that comes down from the center, and that's how the water gets out. So I used this column from Get to Work that kind of looks like a pipe, kind of. You probably can't see it now, kind of not really. But that one actually turned out really well as well. Kind of looks like a good pipe that the water would be going through. And yeah, at first I wasn't sure what vibe to go for with this. I was thinking it'd be more industrial, but since I'm building this in Brindleton Bay, I decided to go more along the route of kind of more of a cozy house. So I went with a lot of cats and dogs objects. So I used all the windows and doors from cats and dogs. And also another thing about this house is I used the highest wall height, on this, actual house part, which is something I very rarely do. In fact, I feel like I only probably used it years and years and years ago at the beginning when The Sims 4 came out. So yeah, I very rarely use anything higher than really the lowest wall height. So yeah, this is kind of unusual for me, but it means the ceilings are crazy tall in this house, and I actually had to stack all these windows up to like make them look like they fit properly, because of course the only windows made for like tall and medium wall heights that work well on curved walls are like the very modern like one tile wide windows. And so I didn't want to use those on this because that wasn't really quite the vibe. So yeah, but I got like all these cats and dogs windows in here. I also put closets in, and yeah, the floor plan is already done. That happened a little while ago. But yeah, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. And right now I'm getting in the stairs. And so you may have saw that I put a ladder in a little while ago. And the ladder is kind of, in my idea about that was that that's the original way that you'd get to the water tower, when it was a water tower. And then obviously when it was converted to a house, they put stairs in because obviously stairs are a little bit easier than a ladder. So yeah. And yeah, I chose Brindleton Bay for this because I thought that it kind of would be a nice world. And this lot is actually specifically the one I had in mind. And oh yeah, I found these objects from Get Famous. I think they were in like the outside decorations category, but they're like these cross beams, which work so good on the outside of this. So those really help enhance the structure. But anyway, I was saying I picked Brindleton Bay because I thought, it seems like the kind of world that a water tower could fit in. I was also thinking like Strangerville or Oasis Springs, which that's I think the name of the base game world. That's like the desert one. But I thought that Brindleton Bay would work well. And yeah, so that's what I chose. And I chose this lot because it's kind of like high up on a hill. It's not like on a road or anything. So I feel like it kind of makes sense as like a water tower sort of deal. Though it is funny because it's such a tall house that when I uploaded it to the gallery, like I mentioned before, it's just like a picture of a tree. So, it doesn't look that enticing from the gallery image. But, obviously, if you see it from this video and you want to download it, there's a link in the description. You can download it. And yeah, so I mean, this was also posted to the gallery with the hashtag Simsie circle shell, because that's the name of this particular shell challenge. Though you probably wouldn't find it from searching that. So if you're in the game, you can search it with my Origin username, which is intothesim, because intothesimulation is too long for Origin. But anyway, so yeah, I have all the windows in at this point. All the windows and doors and everything is here. And yeah, I think it looks good. I like these little like roof pieces I got over the front and back door as well. I think that kind of looks nice. And yeah, I kind of put in an initial kitchen, but I changed it out. I actually used these cabinets from Vampire Stuff because, I don't know, I liked the color of them. I thought it was kind of nice. And yeah, so the layout of this house is actually interesting because after I built it, I was like, I feel like this is probably pretty similar to the one that Kayla did in her initial build that she did with this shell. So I actually went back and compared it to that floor plan, and it's actually very, very similar, which is kind of funny. It's like actually like flipped around the other way, but like both of them have like the kitchen on one side with the primary bedroom behind it, and then on the other side having the living room and then the bathroom and then the kids' room, and like with like a little hallway area in the middle. It's like, it's kind of funny. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of similar. But I mean, I guess, I don't know, like when you're building like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in this same shape, I guess there's only so many ways you can really arrange it. So yeah, it was definitely a bit of a challenge. It's definitely way smaller than what I typically build. Typically I'm building much larger houses, or at least houses with much larger rooms than this. So I'm not super used to like working with really small spaces. But yeah, I think it turned out really well. It's like very cozy, and it's also not even that expensive considering it's a house that I built, which I usually end up making them ridiculously expensive. I think it ends up being about 55,000 simoleons, thereabouts. So it's still expensive, but it's not too crazy. Now, I did playtest the house at the end, and I found a couple things don't work. So just so you know, heads up, if you download the house, there's going to be a couple of things that don't work. One of them is the couch, and the other one's the shower. So I guess those are both pretty important, but it's easy to fix. It's just because of some extra decorations I put in that like block them. So you can easily remove a few objects and it'll function fine. Actually, some of the things I was more worried about, like that dining table, actually do work. And like the front door works and all that stuff. I was kind of surprised the bed in the primary bedroom also does work, which you'll see why I was worried about that, because it's like a little tight. But yeah, it all works actually. So like the only reason things don't work is like because this ottoman I put in front of the couch here, I put actually 2 of them, and that blocks the couch. So but it looks nice, you know. So for visual reasons, I left it there. But if you want to actually play with this, I would remove the ottomans, or at least move them farther away, I guess, from the couch. But this bed is fully functional, despite the curve being inside the curved kind of room. So, you know, that's cool. And yeah, we also have closets in here, so which I know that takes up extra space. That it's a small house, so like I'm taking up what you might say is unnecessary space to take up. But I like having the closets in because it just adds a little bit more realism to it. And so I just like to have the closets. Though I wish there was 1x2 closets that had less modern doors. It's like, I don't know why, like the other ones are all like 2x2. They're like way too big. But yeah, the 1x2 sized one is like a really modern door front on it. That doesn't really match the vibe of the house, but it's okay. Anyway, right now I'm kind of getting in most of the furniture actually. Still got some recoloring to do, a few details to add. I found some curtains that fit pretty well actually, these really tall windows, which is good. They're from, I think, Luxury Party Stuff or something like that. And yeah, here's the bathroom. I was looking at different sinks actually to decide what I wanted to use. But yeah, this house is kind of more of like I don't even know what style you would call the cats and dogs stuff. It's like not really country, I guess, but maybe kind of. Maybe kind of more country style. But yeah, so I guess that's just like what I went with there. So yeah, it's kind of got this cozier kind of feel to it. I got the washer and dryer in the kitchen there because I wanted to have a washer and dryer. Oh yeah, and I changed the outside to these steel panels, or these like corrugated metal panels, which I thought kind of fit the vibe better for like a water tower sort of thing. So yeah, and so just doing all of that kind of stuff, basically looking for a wood paneling to put on the inside here. So, just kind of going around and doing all of that stuff here, looking for a tile to put in the kitchen. So, almost got it. There it is. There's the tile. So yeah, doing all these like little details and things. And, honestly, I think this is probably the first shell challenge I've done in The Sims 4. I did like foundation challenges, like maybe once or twice, like a long time ago. But I don't think I've ever done a shell challenge where it's like a room or a shape that you can't change. It's fun to do. And this one actually, I was a little worried about how this was going to turn out, especially at the beginning. I wasn't entirely sure how this was going to go. I was really happy that I found those like supports from City Living, because when I was doing the columns at the very, very beginning, I was like, oh no, this is like not going to work. And like another idea I had was like, sometimes water towers have like a rounded bottom. And so I was like, oh, maybe I could take one of the lights, like this, like the saucer light thing that they have in the game, and like scale it way up and put it on the underside, so it like has this curved shape. But it looked so bad. I didn't like do it in the video. I'd like tested it out before I started recording, and so I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? It's like gonna look weird. But this actually turned out really well, because those columns I used actually work. They actually work really well because they have these like extra supports on them, and so I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, the living room actually is not too cramped. There's room for a rug, which I probably had to shrink down. But yeah, you got a nice 3-seat couch. There's a couple ottomans there that block the couch, so you'll have to move those if you want to use it. You got yourself a TV, 2-seat dining table, which both chairs work, I believe. The island, only one chair on the island works, because the other two I custom placed because it looked kind of dumb where I like put them by default. But you can move those and like put them to like where they are supposed to snap, and they will work then. But I like wanted them to like look closer together, so I like moved them with Alt. But the center one does work. So, technically there's plenty of places to sit, at least to sit and eat. You got yourself a kitchen. It all actually fits in here pretty well, despite being really small. And I tried to use like a little bit more decoration by putting some objects on top of things, because you have such a tall ceiling in here. It's like kind of hard sometimes to like fill it up, especially like in the kitchen. The cabinets look so low on the wall because the wall height is so tall that there's like twice as much space like above them. So I put like a couple paintings that like kind of look like they're leaning on the top of the cabinets. And yeah, I also put in a tile floor. I didn't mention that earlier, but I did put in a tile floor. I love this tile floor. It's from was it Adventure or something or other, Jungle Adventure. And yeah, I used it in my last Sims 4 house. It was like the first time I saw it because, I don't play the Sims 4 that often. And I was like, wow, this is great. And I use it in a slightly different color, but I still really like that tile. So yeah, and so I thought it kind of added a nice separation there between the kitchen and the living room. And I also enclosed like that little hallway there because I wanted there to be like a little bit of separation between like the living space and like the bedrooms, so the bedrooms didn't like just open up right into the living room. And so of course it's not really super necessary for that like little hallway to be there, but I wanted to add that bit of separation there. And yeah, so we're doing the bathroom now, and the shower doesn't work, and that's just because I put a hamper in the way. So again, if you want the shower to work, you can move the hamper or just delete it. It's not necessary. I just like, build these things to like how I want them to look, so that can happen, but not a huge deal. Anyway, getting into a lot of decorations in the hallway there, bathroom. Yeah, there's the hamper. That's the hamper that causes the problem. And a mirror there over the sink and like a little mat on the floor. And yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the bathroom. Got a blind on the window so that, got some privacy if you want it. And now we're going to do the primary bedroom here. So actually it's a pretty decent size for this house. It's a very small house. It's got the back door in it. And oh yeah, for some reason, because the curved walls are whack, this bedroom is considered part of the living room and dining room. It's like that's all one room. Whereas the bathroom and the other bedroom are separate rooms. I don't know. It just is what it is. But it's not really a huge deal. It doesn't really affect much of anything. But yeah. So I also wanted to get a computer in here because, I thought that'd be good to have. And yeah, this bed does work, actually. There's enough room for your Sims to get around the bed. So I was happy about that because the curved wall I was like a little worried about. But it does work. So that's good. And yeah, I got nice big windows in here. The view from the rooms in this place is pretty cool because it is so high up. So yeah, you do have nice views from these windows. And yeah, so just doing a few more. Actually, we're done with that room. So we're doing the kids' room now. And yeah, this kind of like joins, like I haven't done like a converted something or other in a long time. Well, I guess that's not true. I did in The Sims 3 like a couple years ago. I did a converted barn. But like in The Sims 4 wise, I did like in 2016, I did a converted lighthouse, which I made a restaurant. So that was a long time ago. And I also the same year, I think I did a converted clock tower. And so like when I was thinking about this shell, I was thinking about clock tower, lighthouse, but since you could only copy and paste the shape and just stack it up, you couldn't like obviously change the size of the upper levels. It would just kind of look like just a giant monolith basically. So I thought that just, doing one level was better and just maybe raising it up to make a water tower was like a fun idea. Anyway, this is the kids' room. It's done now. So that was it. And we're going to do landscaping now before we finish it up. So yeah, this one didn't take too long. It's obviously a very small house. And I'm really happy with how this turned out, actually. It went better than I expected. So that's good. When I was thinking like water tower in The Sims 4, I was like, ooh, I don't know. But yeah, thank goodness for those objects from City Living. Those debug objects are great. And maybe you can kind of see the pipe in the middle there. That's supposed to be like the pipe for the water that the water would have gone down. And I guess that's how they get their plumbing now, because otherwise how else would there be plumbing up to this house besides that one pipe? So yeah, not the most realistic, but don't think too hard about it. And yeah, just getting in lots of plants and things like that. There's going to be some screenshots coming up, of course, as there always are. And yeah, like I mentioned, you can find this house on the gallery. The link is in the description. And if you want to, try this shell out for yourself, you can. And look at what other people did as well. The hashtag is Simsie Circle Shell. If you I'd be kind of surprised if you're watching this and haven't already seen Kayla's video, so you probably already know that, but just in case, you can always find the shell in the gallery yourself as well. But yeah, so we're nearing the end here, so if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you consider subscribing. As always, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And right now I'm just doing some little final things, so just some dirt terrain paint under all of the flowers and bushes and grasses and whatever, and also a little bit of gravel there by the entrance. So yeah, just doing all those final little things, some small last minute adjustments. I gotta get the mailbox and trash can actually. I usually almost always forget those because in The Sims 3 they're just there, so I always forget in The Sims 4, but here they are, no worries. Anyway, that's pretty much it, so I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.